Gabor Maté was on Theo Vaughn. Holy shit, that's crazy. That's dope. That's actually sick. The real interesting part is at 108.
Or
also Gabor Maté. Gabor Maté got the fucking reformist Iranian presidential fit going, and he's got the HasanAbi ring game. Respect. He's got it both, dude. Isn't this Aaron's dad? Gabor Maté is the father of Aaron and his other Daniel. Aaron and Daniel's dad. Daniel is a co-host of the Bad Hasbro podcast alongside Matt Lieb, and Aaron is a journalist. I need your thoughts on Max Blumenthal. I am not going to talk about Max Blumenthal right now. Get the fuck out of here. I am not interested in having a conversation about Max Blumenthal because for all the insane shit that he's done, for all of the insane shit that he has done over like the especially the end of the Trump administration, all the anti-vaxxer nonsense. Gray Zone has done a pretty decent job in covering all the stuff that pertains to Israel. He is, I don't necessarily care to comment on any of the things that he is saying. Air Wars released a mini documentary on IDF videos proving they kill civilians in Gaza. If you have time to check this out, sure, we can look at it. Air Wars is great. Don't let Gray Zone talk about anything else, though. Sure, that's fine. That's not. I don't disagree with that statement. Yeah, unless someone is like directly, anti-Israel because of like overt anti-Semitism, like Candace Owens. I don't, I'm not going to fault people too much. I haven't watched a Gabor clip that I had pulled up. Yes, because you're going to be watching a 3-minute ad break right now. Okay? That's it. Because at the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break coming for you. And it is an avoidable ad break. It is one that you can avoid by subscribing. Okay? However, if you don't have a Twitch Prime, you might be cooked. Just kidding. You can get gifted a sub. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Such terrible things as the children in Gaza are experiencing right now with the daily bombings and all this kind of stuff. What can they think? That there's something wrong with me.
Oh, imagine some kid over there in Gaza looking up and there's a bomb, they think, man, I'm so horrible, I deserve to be bombed.
Well, you know what? There was a study done of Gazan children.
Man, that's crazy. I hadn't thought about that. Like, really imagine that, though.
There was a study done of children in Palestine 21 years ago. And 95%, this is long before the current horrors, long before October the 7th, long before the aftermath of October the 7th. 95% of those kids showed traumatic symptoms. High percent.
For people that don't know, Gabor Maté, for the record, is a very prominent anti-Zionist Jewish doctor who has written extensively about, I believe, trauma, right? And he also, of course, happens to be a Holocaust survivor. So before people are, just so you understand, trauma and addiction are the two things that he's written extensively about, I believe. Like that's his most formative, most important work. But beyond that, of course, he himself is not only a Holocaust survivor, but I believe was an early Zionist who very quickly recognized that this was a fascist movement, much like many Jews, okay, who, you know, were around during the time of the Holocaust, including but not limited to Albert Einstein, and has been an outspoken anti-Zionist ever since. Interesting that this video doesn't have the Holocaust Wikipedia page underneath it, as opposed to my video with Asmongold getting hit with that Holocaust explainer that goes to the Wikipedia page. I'm sure they talked about the Holocaust here. Interesting. Gabor got so much hate for his article about a lot of people having a little Nazi in their heads. It was such a good article because it speaks on what you maybe spoke about in the past, that everybody has a little bigot that they have to kill off. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting that people were on Twitter. People yell at anybody for anything. Okay. People were yelling at a Holocaust survivor for writing an article about how like everyone has a little bit of a bigot inside of them that they have to combat with regular frequency. They were like, not me, sweaty. Speak for yourself. He was a baby during the Holocaust and during the founding of Israel in 47, born in 44. Yes, I know. And in his early years, he talked about being a Zionist, if I'm not mistaken, and very quickly recognized, oh shit, never mind, this sucks. This sucks pretty bad. He probably saw the invention of Israeli EDM and was like, I'm out. As a teenager, he encountered the first version of Israeli techno and was like, not for me, sir. A nation state project that creates such a heinous act, such a heinous display, is not one that is interested in advancing humanity. He said, not in my name. He said, I've written extensively about childhood trauma, but no one could recreate the childhood trauma that I experienced when Israel invented their version of EDM. Truly a heinous act.
Percentage with their beds, like you and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Is because Holocaust studies have been described as Holocaust comparison, which is then called Holocaust minimization and then Holocaust denial. So I think your Anne Frank comparison got you the Wikipedia tag. Yeah. Anne Frank obviously was a victim of the Holocaust, which is a genocide. Me saying that another victim of a genocide who is a survivor of genocide is similar is not a ridiculous comparison. Okay? It is not to minimize the Holocaust at all. There is no reason to study genocides or the Holocaust specifically if you are not going to learn lessons from it and then apply them to ongoing genocides right now. The entire purpose of never again means never again for anybody, not never again just for Jewish people. That's ridiculous, and you will never find a Holocaust historian that agrees with that principle. I see you there. You lurking weirdo chatter trying to spin with Hasan and saying it's in real time. Yeah.
they expressed aggression towards their parents. They had panic attacks, anxiety, fears. Can you imagine what's going to happen to that generation
Years from now?
Years from now. I mean, it just breaks my heart every
He said it's like we're watching Auschwitz on TikTok and he can appeal to it given his own experience.
day when I think about it.
Interesting that didn't get the YouTube markers in the way that I did.
And for any kids
I know a lot of my fellow Jews don't agree with me, but as a Jewish person, I'm not the only one who feels that way. It especially breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when you put it in that sense, that a kid, imagine a kid like, because what are they going to think? They don't know. They just think, man, something's so wrong with me. I deserve to be killed.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. Yeah.
It depends if the adults are able to hold them and keep them feeling loved. But 19,000 kids have been orphaned. And when I say orphaned, I don't mean just that their parents have died. Their extended families have been wiped out.
Why are you saying this video not getting the tag is interesting? Because a lot of these institutions still participate in Islamophobia, which is internalized and baked into every fucking institution. And when you got a dude named Hasan talking about the victim of a genocide who also happens to be Muslim in Yemen, when the overarching position is that like they kind of deserve it, you're gonna get slapped with a misinformation sticker. That's the difference.
What's going to be the future of those kids? And
not that it
anyway,
matters.
it's just
Like I personally don't give a shit if they slap it with the marker, because I did invoke it, I did bring it up, and I'm glad that people are going to the Holocaust Wikipedia to read about the Holocaust. Like I don't, hopefully they're doing this.
just a terrible.
No, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it feels like a genocide is going on over there and you don't know what to do, it's like, I mean, you can pray, you can speak up about it. And I know that there's like a more political aspects of it. And we've had different people come on to talk about Israel and Palestine on here.
Yeah.
And it was very knowledgeable for a lot of our listeners because you hear about it a lot, but you don't know the history and everything. But
Well, I've been there. I went there 2.5 years ago to work with Palestinian women.
Most people thought you were saying the genocide was what Israel was doing, not about the Yemeni genocide. It's just ignorance. Yeah, except Israel is doing a genocide in Gaza as well. So even if they misunderstood my point, it does not matter because it would still stand. Also, the Yemeni teen is not the only genocide survivor that I have had on this broadcast. I had Maté Aziza, who is also a genocide survivor. He is a genocide survivor of Israel. Okay?
Tortured in Israeli jails.
wow.
And they had post-traumatic stress disorder. I've seen it with my own eyes. And who's the black American writer? Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Yeah. He just written a new book. And he talks about visiting Palestine. And he says, Ta-Nehisi Coates, in his new book, he says, once you go there and see it, you can't unsee it. And
Our media doesn't
I'm
cover
the
it
same
super
way.
fairly.
Yeah.
I feel like our media doesn't cover it super fairly. That'd be
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's fine. He's got the energy. It's in the right place. He's fucking interviewing Gabor Maté, a very prominent anti-Zionist. We will never be able to understand the harm. We live in the lap of luxury. We will never be able to comprehend the traumas that children go through. Gabor's story is actually really fascinating because he speaks directly on how the psychological impact of surviving the Holocaust drew him closer to the Zionist narrative of these so-called new strong Jews who were no longer ashamed. He read a terrible book, by the way, called Exodus by Leon Uris, and was instantly sucked in. It was actually the experience of seeing international media cover the Vietnam War that made him question Zionism. I'm working to try to get Ta-Nehisi on, but you have to understand these guys are not very online, and like he has no fucking clue. From what I understand, he has no clue what Twitch is, who I am. Like he has no idea. So I've reached out directly to people that he talks to on a regular